I showed up to Bali in 2015 as a broke backpacker, and I was basically running away from my life in Canada. I was an accountant. I was, to be very honest, a little bit unhappy there, working in this kind of corporate 9-to-5. And the moment I set foot here, I knew I needed to find a way to spend more time here. 10 years later, I found my way. I made YouTube videos. I became a content creator through travel, and this allowed me to finally set my dreams into reality, to build my home base here on this tropical island of Bali, and it has been one of the best decisions of my life. Guiding principle of the house from the moment we began building was everywhere you look, you need to see green or blue. When I was looking for my place to build that dream home, I needed to find not a rice field, but I needed to find old growth trees. Something that was honestly a little hard to find out here, especially as we're toward Canggu. Now, after a bit of searching and a bit of looking, I just got absolutely incredibly lucky because I found this plot of land that has a hillside, a beautiful slope that brings you down. What got me so inspired was the feeling of the jungle, the beautiful palm trees, the greenery, and when it was time to start to look at building that dream home, I knew that there was a lot of different incredible ways to have greenery. You could have a rice field and you could see endless amounts of green. But the problem is it usually gets developed and you usually find yourself with a 2 or 3 story next door neighbor. So I started looking for a jungle, and after searching and searching and searching, I found this property that was absolutely enchanted. It had massive 100-plus-year-old trees towering above the land, and it had huge amounts of palm trees, which as a Canadian, we just don't get that. That's something that always inspired me. And so when it became time to not only get the land, that was chapter 1. Chapter 2 was actually even harder, which was how do we build this home while respecting that land? How do we make sure that we don't just start from ground zero like most home builders do? So I worked really hard. It took about 9 months to actually develop this home so that we could keep almost every single one of the trees. Every major tree was kept, and we actually even have one of the spirits of the house, which is this massive tree that we've built the entire home around, which actually comes out of our roof line. And today we even built a beautiful skyline tree house on top and into that tree. This is the house of details. So there's a lot of amazing ways to build a home, but I think one of the most incredible ways to do it is to focus in on often the unsung heroes, the little things that people usually just kind of jump over. That's everything from the surfaces. A lot of our surfaces have incredible texture, from the repurposed Ulen flooring, which was actually taken from decommissioned boats and old docks. We have a lot of stone surfaces, which we've actually intentionally kept with an anticato finish, so you can actually feel that kind of rugged boulder that it used to be. And it's even the little details like our Blum hinges. It's the way the doors on the cabinetry opens up. It's just a really inviting part of the home that you won't see in the photos, you won't even see it in the videos, but when you set foot into a home that has had a lot of details focused on, you can feel that difference. It's very rare. We don't get to see that many homes where it's done, but when you do see it and when you experience it, you never want to go back. The favorite zone of the house has to be where my partner and I, we basically end every day down the hill in the sauna area. We crank up the heat, we sweat a lot, and it's just the most amazing night routine where it just kind of gets us ready for bed. And what I love so much about it too is that that area allows us to look up to the home in what is probably the most breathtaking view of Los Vila. It's using that sloped land. It gives you the ability to look up at this beautiful home that doesn't dominate the landscape, but actually it kind of exists within it. It interacts with the jungle. And the lighting works make this home just as beautiful as it is in the day. Now, one of the other things that you brought up is that, I have been using this home quite a bit to entertain. It's been a new chapter for us because our previous home was a cute but very confined townhouse. So for the first time, we are the people that get to host. Friends, family, mom and dad have been here, my brother, Ruby's mom is now here. So we've been able to bring in the people we love most. And what I love about this home is that every person that steps into here is just, they feel at home. With every detail in this home, there was some details that are kind of the unsung heroes of this Lost Villa experience. And those are the things that you'll find inside of our cabinets. We've got this incredible Legra box line, which actually helps us keep everything organized, everything separated and exactly where it needs to be. So when it's time to cook, you need the spatula, you need to get the mixer, you want to put the frother out to make the perfect cappuccino. You know it's exactly where it belongs and it hasn't shifted, it hasn't mixed with your other things. And then we have our AMBIA-LINE appliances and items which really just help, again, streamline the experience for my partner. She loves to cook. I can't take any credit for that, but our home is so incredibly well organized. Everything is where it needs to be, and it just is, again, one of those details that when you go and travel the world, you're out exploring, you find yourself missing how amazing things just work at home.